Hello there. This time we are breaking down the Dark Side Galactic Legends. And pretty much we are first going to start with C here because he's just the first one I clicked on. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Yes, JML, Jedi Master Luke required 100% ultimate charge, so did C. And you'd think, some do, some don't. 3 of them do, 3 of them don't. It's really wonky. Don't even get me started on how they designed these. I'm just here to review them. Sith Eternal gains 2% ultimate charge whenever a deceased enemy uses an ability, and he gains 8% ultimate charge whenever a linked enemy uses an ability. So when the numbers start dwindling lower and lower, he gets a lot of turn meter because of linked. Or if he puts linked on something that attacks on a turn constantly, that helps. He gains mastery equal to his current amount of mastery and transforms into Restored Emperor. If he is the leader, all other Asteries or allies get mastery until their current mastery until the end of the battle, which his ultimate only goes off once, so it's not really useful for raids and so far. When he transforms, he loses his two abilities and gains 2 new ones, which is his Revitalized Shock, which does a lot of damage. Each time he uses it, he get the unlimited power. Unlimited power gains more things. Deals special damage to all enemies. Does so much damage. Deception. Spreads deceived. If they are Jedi, it's on there for 3 turns. If they're not a Jedi, it's only on there for 2. He gains speed up. And he can't target Sith Eternal Emperor if you have Deception. So be it Jedi deals special damage to all, or deals special damage, recovers 50% protection, and calls a mass assist, dealing 10% more damage. Unraveled Destiny links 2 targets, which is pretty much intertwining the fate of them two. All allies gain retribution, and tanks get taunt for 2 turns. The linked characters are stay the same. It's pretty much that they just you defeat a linked enemy. It's just meant to dwindle down protection and all that type of stuff. Sith Eternal, dark side allies have mastery, potency, and speed doubled for Sith allies. Whenever a deceived or linked enemy uses ability, he gains mastery stacking until the end of the counter. In all others, you gain half that amount. Linked enemy uses ability, he gains ultimate charge. When the start of each counter, whenever enemy gains a buff that can't be dispelled, so this is literally just meant to counter Imperial Trooper teams. Even though you can still use Super Trooper teams, which are using just Stark, just using Veers, Stark, Death Trooper, Range Trooper, and then another damage dealing trooper like Dark Trooper. You can use those 3, and you can still probably get the job done. It's just a lot more dicey. I didn't tell you that. Okay. Whenever a Sith enemy is defeated, dispel the debuffs, and it just completely revives everyone. Sith Eternal is immune to taunts and turn meter reduction. Deceived enemies can't counterattack. Rebel and Jedi enemies can't gain bonus turn meter if they're deceived. If there is no enemies are deceived, the weakest one becomes deceived for 2 turns. Whenever a deceived enemy uses an ability, they spread around disease, kind of like plague, in a way. Each time a linked enemy is taking a turn, they're losing protection, 20% max protection, and Emperor Palpatine is gaining 25% of the amount lost. So a quarter of what they're losing is going to him. Linked raid bosses are gaining 20%. So this is literally meant for the ones that gain exposed for 2 turns, which is still good. At the seed of each turn you hit them, you could do exposed damage, which is okay. linked enemies can't critically hit, and their damage is decreased. Besides Galactic Legends, and then Galactic Legend, the unique ability that is meant for all that. Anyways, for this, you want to do So Be It Jedi as your first Zeta. Unraveled Destiny will be your second. So Discard will be your third. Sith Eternal will be your fourth. Deception will be your fifth. And Galactic Legend will be your sixth. Thank you for coming for my tech talk. We are on to SLKR now. Literally, it's only the difference of mods that are separating these two between Sith Eternal, Jedi Master Luke, and Rey. That's funny. I like that. Anyways, Depths of Rage can be used at 60, 85, and 100%. Wow, I wasn't even looking at the numbers and I memorized that. Yeah, as you can tell, I love SLKR, my favorite Galactic Legend. Why do you think I allow everyone to push for him early, and him as being the early Galactic Legend when you are at the proper amount of GP? He gains ultimate charge whenever dealing damage, or whenever someone does damage on your team to the enemy team. It's increased to 5% if it's a critical hit. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren dispels all debuffs on themselves, enters the aggressive stance, is immune to damage and effects, can't be defeated, has his siphon doubled, and abilities have no cooldowns. Which, we'll get to his abilities now. Brutal Assault, his basic, he gains 10 siphon if he uses the basic in his turn. Inflicts buff immunity on target enemy and deals damage to them twice. And if the target was stunned, he deals damage a third time and gets advantage for 2 turns. Which, like, he already doesn't have a problem with critical hits, so, like, that's not that bad. Stasis Strike dispel all buffs on all enemies and stun the target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and gain 20 siphon until the end of the encounter, or on critical hit gains 40% siphon, which can't be evaded. Fierce Onslaught, deal physical damage to all enemies. Kylo siphons the mastery from them. From target enemy doubled if they were stunned, which can't be resisted, and then dispel all debuffs and grant all allies advantage. And he gains a percentage of mastery equal to this unit's siphon until the end of the counter, and the target loses that much, excluding raid bosses and other Galactic Legends. Supreme Leader, allies have plus 30 speed, plus 40% mastery, and plus 50% critical damage. Can't be critically hit when you have advantage. Whenever they use or lose advantage without scoring a critical hit, they gain it for 1 turn at the end of their turn. Whenever her dark side ally gains advantage, they get bonuses. Tanks taunt for 2 turns, attackers gain critical damage up, and supporters, healers gain turn meter, which is, as you're going to see in a second, not that good. Supreme Leader Kylo is immune to stagger, can't gain taunt effects, and enemies can't be defeated in his turn, or enemies that are defeated can't be revived. Whenever a dark side ally loses turn meter, they gain 10% max health and max protection. And whenever a dark side ally gains turn meter, they lose 10% health and protection. And then Galactic Legends. Anyways, for this, you want to Zeta, press the advantage first, followed by Stasis Strike and then Furious Onslaught, followed by Supreme Leader and his basic, and then Galactic Legend. And the last dark side one, which is the one that I haven't unlocked yet because I have not had time to go get the Rex. I'm working towards another pet project, aka the one, the only, the Executor. End of the Galactic Republic. Give me a second. I'm tired of reading paragraphs for these kits. It's kind of sad of how they were doing this. Anyways, requires at least 50% ultimate charge to activate. Whenever he uses it, Whenever he uses Dark Hamburger, or whenever a debuff Dark Side ally uses or gains or receives damage, he gains 2% ultimate charge, so he's the slowest charging ultimate. But Lord Vader gets 50% mastery, and all others lose that much mastery. Empire and Dark Side aligned Force users don't lose mastery from the ability. If 100% is used, then 75% mastery is taken. Dispel all debuffs, take a bonus turn, reduces cooldowns by 1, and gains Ashes of the Republic for 5 turns, so you want to save it. Lord Vader's abilities get bonus effects. Enemies defeated while this is active can't be revived. He is immune to ability block, healing immunity, and shock, but can't gain ultimate charge, much like how Komonobi can't. Vindictive Storm. If he has underestimated more than 30 sacks, he deals damage again. Each time this ability attacks in the same, or each time this ability deals damage in the same attack, it deals 25% more damage. So if he attacks 3 times, it does more damage. Harbinger inflicts buff immunity and immunity on your for 2 turns. Deal damage to target enemy. Deals 20% more physical damage, stacking to 20%. Lord Vader gets a percent of ultimate charge, and Empire Dark Side online for users recover 0.5% health for each stack of underestimated. If he has Ashes of the Republic, it deals true damage instead, which is really good. Unshackled Emotions. This is the AoE that inflicts daze and 4 damage over times for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. So, that's really, it's pretty much just guaranteed dots for Vader. Not this Vader, other Vader. And for each stack of underestimated, it deals more damage, 2.5% more damage, and since it caps out at 60, that's pretty useful. And all Dark Side allies for each stack of underestimated gain 1% mastery until the end of the encounter. As just the Republic, make it decrease the target's decrease target enemy cooldowns by 2, and inflicts ability block. My New Empire gives 20% or 20 speed, 20% mastery, and 50% max health, doubled for Empire and Dark Side Online Force users. At the start of the battle, Empire and Dark Side Online Force users lose all the protection and gain that much max health. If all allies are Dark Side at the start of the battle, Empire and Online Force users are immune to fear. Empire tanks gain taunt for 2 turns, and when they lose the taunt, they are inflicted with mark for 1 turn. Whenever a debuff ally takes damage, it's 2% ultimate charge and increased to 3 if it's literally all. Empire and Force and Dark Side Online Force users, DSUs. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call them. Allies have 30% critical damage and critical chance when targeting the enemy. Whenever Empire and DSUs are at a certain health thresholds to get certain bonuses during an enemy attack at well above 30% health, they are immune to max health reductions and other damage that is based on max health. So you can't use exposes, you can't use Rex's obliterate, you can't use I forgot to click on the end of this. Anyways, nothing really. We didn't skip a beat. They take 30% less damage if it's all them. Gain whenever they lose a buff, you get 1% in mastery. If there was a DSU at the start of the battle, you take 30% risk damage. Critical damage. Whenever enemy critically hits, whenever they get critically hit, they reduce critical damage stacking on the enemy for 3 turns. Empire and Dark Side Alumni Fierce users have their gates. Whenever they're above 50% health, they are immune to damage over time and thermal detonators. And if they're above 80% health, they can't be critically hit. Anyways, the Zeta order on this, it's going to be quick. It's easily twisted. Oh, I'm still missing 2. Lord Vader is immune to turn meter manipulation. His attacks can be evaded at the start of the battle. He loses protection and health. And Dark Side Alumni Force users gain speed up and stealth for 2 turns. At the start of each Lord Vader's turn, enemies are inflicted with damage over time per 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And enemies with damage over time can't be in turn meter. At the start of each of Lord Vader's turns, he gains 1 stack of underestimated, doubled if it's Galactic Republic and Jedi enemies. And if he has a certain amount, he gains bonus effects. Anyways, the Zeta process on this, I really think, is Dark Harbinger to gain that health back, My New Empire and Twisted Prophecy, then you do Unshackled Emotions, Vindictive Storm, and then Galactic Legend. That is what I think about it, and we have now reviewed the Dark Side Galactic Legends, and that is it for Galactic Legends. I can go into a mod review, but mod reviews take so long, and your mods actually have to be good, and my mods are okay, but they're not perfect. Anyways, that's all for tonight. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.